Hi everyone. Please just allow me.
Good morning, ma'am.
Hi, good morning everyone. Just allow me a moment. I think I'm yet to fix my camera. There's a technical glitch from my side.
Yeah, sure.
Good morning, everybody. Hello.
Good morning, ma'am.
Hello. Good
Good
morning.
morning, ma'am.
Welcome, Neha, to the session. Actually, students, we are really sorry we got caught up with certain things and you had to wait. But anyhow, you have a very good speaker today, a very learned and a very experienced person. She's a young expert with you. You can open up and ask questions with her. And yes, you say just two, three lines about me. That's it. Start the session because we are already late. And I'm also
Okay.
caught up with certain things. And as I told that I have already got an ailment, so won't be able to continue. So you please take care of the things. And Neha, welcome to the session. And students will be interacting with you. They will enjoy your session. I'm very sure about it. Hello. Hello, Neha. Can you listen to me?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Welcome to the session and please continue. Yes, you continue, introduce ma'am, and then we will start the session.
So, good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to you all. As you already know, that I, Yash Nigam, a postgraduate student at University of Allahabad, and also your today's host, welcoming you all on behalf of Kostas Karerika and Era University, Lucknow. I'm today delighted to have you with us today in the fifth day of the Soft Skill Development Workshop, which is scheduled from 19 to 24th June. Over the last few days, we have dived deep into the world of innovation, industry, and applied science through our Industrial Insight series. But now it's time to shift gears from what we know to how we grow. Welcome to the Soft Skill Development Workshop, a space where mindset meets mastery. Before any further delay, let me introduce the visionary behind Kostas Karika, Dr. Fatima Tripathi, who is the founder and CEO of Kostas Karika. Her leadership has made Karika a trusted platform for career development nationwide. Now, I would like to introduce the co-organizer of this event, Dr. Tapresh Jafar, who is the Associate Professor and Head Department of Biotechnology at our University, Lucknow. Next, we have with us convener of the program, Dr. Manal Zehra, Assistant Professor, Department of Biotechnology at our University, Lucknow. As we begin this 6-day series, I encourage you all to participate wholeheartedly, ask questions, engage actively, and most importantly, be open to discovering your true potential beyond academics. Let this workshop not just be learning soft skills, but about living them. Let's begin this exciting journey together. It is with immense pride and excitement that we welcome a truly multifaceted and inspiring personality to our session today, Ms. Kumari Neha, whose journey embodies the perfect fusion of academic brilliance, excellence, and leadership rooted in service. Currently, she is pursuing her master's in health administration at the prestigious Tata Institute of Social Science, Mumbai. Ms. Neha brings with her a unique blend of scientific expertise, administrative insight, and real world problem solving skills. With a background in macrobiology, she applies a data driven and analytical mindset to today's pressing healthcare challenges, while simultaneously exploring the cutting edge intersections of technology, innovation, and healthcare process optimization. Her academic pursuits are backed by solid research experience, including a project internship at TIFR, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Mumbai, which is one of India's leading research institutions. She has also worked in the corporate health sector as a microbiology technician at TUV India Private Limited, Maharashtra, where she developed a deep understanding of quality systems, diagnostics, and industry standards. But her journey doesn't stop there. Ms. Neha has consistently demonstrated her unmatched determination and competitive excellence by qualifying two of India's toughest defense exams, that is UPSC CDS with All India rank 35 and AFCAT with All India rank 90. This remarkable feat is a testament to her discipline, clarity, and resilience, qualities that define every successful leader. Adding to her leadership journey, Ms. Neha served as an administrative intern under the National Health Mission, that is NHM Maharashtra, where she worked hands-on in strengthening primary healthcare systems. Her impactful contribution includes coordinating day-to-day operations at primary health centers with medical officers and frontline workers, ensuring compliance with national quality assurance standards, leading community outreach, health education campaigns, and digital health mapping, developing Excel dashboards for real-time tracking of immunizations and high-risk pregnancies, strengthening the collaboration among ASHAs, ANMs, and the PHC team to improve service delivery in undeserved areas. This effort didn't just enhance documentation and reporting efficiency, they brought visible improvement in healthcare delivery at the grassroots level. And beyond academics and administration, Ms. Neha is a dedicated service selection board interview mentor, passionately guiding armed force aspirants on their journey to service and leadership. Her mentorship approach is personalized, empowering, and deeply transformative, focused on helping candidates unlock their true potential through self awareness, confidence building, strategic thinking, and leadership development. She ensures aspirants are not just prepared for an interview but for a lifetime of service and responsibility. Whether she is mentoring students, managing healthcare operations, delivering awareness campaigns, or exploring AI driven health innovation, Ms. Kumari Neha continues to redefine what it means to lead with knowledge, vision, and compassion. Today, she joins us to share her valuable insights on confidence building and leadership, a topic she not only understands deeply but truly exemplifies in every aspect of her journey. Let's all give a resounding welcome to this incredible speaker, Ms. Kumari Neha. Over to you, ma'am.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So, thank you so much for inviting me, Pratama ma'am, and that was quite a astounding welcome, Yash. Quickly, guys. So, I understand this is a online webinar, but then I think we can connect better if you guys can switch on your cameras. So, at least that appears that we are talking not just to a screen, but to people, and I'm not here to give you any. Tips and tricks, or rather any random talks. You can get those TED talks on YouTube. There are enough TED talks available on the YouTube. My idea would be to focus here maybe more on firstly, like he has mentioned, I also have been an ex-army cadet. I joined OTA in 2021, 115 NT course. I left due to the medical injury. So that's exactly why am I here to talk about the military leadership as well, apart from what we are talking. So guys, shall we start with a basic quick intro so that I understand where do you guys come from, and maybe I can cater you better, since it's the cohort is less in numbers, we can engage better. Nida, Sazia, Manil, let's talk.
Good morning, ma'am.
Hi, good morning, Manil. Can you please tell me quickly about yourself so that
Ma'am.
maybe we can help you better?
Ma'am, my name is Manar Khalid. I am currently pursuing my BTech in biotechnology from Integral University, Lucknow.
Okay, so what do you intend to do after this?
My ambition is to become a scientist.
Wow, DRDO types?
Yes.
Okay, that's so have you checked anything with respect to that?
Ma'am, currently I'm in my first year, so my main focus is to finish, to get a degree.
That's okay. No issues. Fine. Yeah. Anyone else? Sazia, what's up?
Good morning, ma'am. Myself, Sazia Khan, and I live in Jharkhand, and I'm pursuing my BTech Biotechnology degree from same Integral University, and I aim to become first of all a nice human. Secondly, I aim to be in health management type of course, and then thirdly, and the most big dream that I have recently started is like becoming an entrepreneur. So that's it for now.
Okay, so the entrepreneur and the healthcare management are two diverse fields, I would say. So, what's up with the healthcare management? Why?
Healthcare is because I was once a NEET aspirant, and that dream has been inbuilt since I was in that preparatory phase for that NEET. So that's the prior dream, but since I'm evolving with time and also with the course of BTech, so now I feel like entrepreneurship is the best kind of form for me as I evolve after.
That's great. That's great. I am actually pursuing healthcare management. That's why I asked.
Okay.
So, just allow me a moment. Actually, I prepared a PPT for you guys. I believe that my screen is visible to all of you.
Yeah, it's good.
So, guys, let's just dive deeper into the part. So, here I'm going to talk about something that'll stay relevant irrespective you're going for entrepreneurship, being a scientist, anywhere. So, working on a college project to leading a fest or teamwork, real world, everything. So, I'm just here to quickly tell you a few lessons from one of the most high stakes environment of all the times, the military. So this is a basic this is about me. I'm sure since already this has been covered, so I won't go through that again. So let's just start something that, what's the first quality that you would look into if you are, looking for a teammate or anything? What's the first thing that you would talk about or you want with your teammates? If you had to pick five people, or if you had to pick from five people, who would you do and why? What qualities are you looking forward to? So I'll just repeat the question again. So, what do you look forward to if you have to find a teammate?
Ma'am, can I speak?
Yeah, yeah.
First of all, if we are trying to find a teammate, the person should have, like, we should have trust in them that with whatever idea we come up, uh, I can trust him or her so that we could join hands or we can join ideas to further elaborate. Secondly, they should have the same motivation that will help me or them to achieve the same dream that whatever we are dreaming about. And thirdly, network, I guess कि उन लोगों से ज़्यादा अप्रोच करना चाहिए जिनके पास नेटवर्किंग अच्छी हो, so that would promote.
Agreed.
Yes.
So, what's up with you, Manal? Any thoughts on this? So, fine, I agree with the point that Sazia has just mentioned. So, this is more about who's your ideal teammate. How do you talk about the teamwork, leadership style? So, this is something that we are going to talk about today. The teamwork principles, more importantly, the leadership styles and military insights, how you can work around with. So, military insights, I understand that since your long term goal is not related to this, but then go and explore the world. It's really amazing. In fact, in terms of biotechnology, also, you'll find good relevant things for you to make your career in that way. So this part, so the next slide, it speaks about why teams succeed or fail. So let's be honest, most of the work in the group is always done by one person or the second person. So it's often not just about the efforts, or it's often about the clarity, like what's my role, what am I supposed to do. If the role is already divided, it gets rather easier. The communication and clarity, or at times the ego clashes because you have to shine. So I think that takes the entire teamwork into backseat. So I guess the most important part the team needs to work upon is the trust and the communication. Trust that whatever Sazia mentioned, that you have to, if you don't trust for a mutual growth, how would you go ahead? And communication to ensure that all the qualities that have been talked about, all the all the things that have been set or the boundaries have been set, what needs to be done. There is a goal clarity, there is a role clarity. So, but then there is always, see, you can't always have to be, it won't be possible for you to every time maybe, uh, match 100%, but then there are some things called negotiables and there are certain things called non-negotiable. For me, trust and communication is non-negotiable, you can't. But then there are certain things which are non like negotiables, maybe, that the way they work, I might work in the morning hours, the other person may work in the night hours, so this is a negotiable thing. But then non-negotiable, I can't work around without a trust. So you have to find out what is your negotiable and non-negotiable, such that you understand not just yourself but the other person also. So this is about the teamwork. So this now talks a little more on the teamwork triangle. So the trust, the role clarity, they know that every person in the team knows, and the communication. The way it's okay to, it's okay to have different opinions. It's okay to have clashes, etc. Because at the end of the day, every argument or every disagreement also opens up the door for different dimensions. You may not, for you it may not be relevant, but the other, you need to understand what's the other person's point of view. So that is something where the communication plays a key role. It's not what you speak, it's about how you speak. So this is the communication, that's where it's important. Then I'll focus more on the leadership style. So there are a couple of leadership styles which are existing, so you need to find which kind of leader you are. So the first one is about the authoritative leadership styles, such as the example is about how the class monitor works around, or how the commanding officer works around in the combat orders. But then I'll focus more on your college life example. So the democratic leadership styles, as in the student council vote for one, so there is complete democracy. Laziza Farid is a group leader that teams self-organize, and you allow people to work in their own way. You don't go for micromanagement. That's more like Laziza Farid. So next is transformational. It's more like, how Elon Musk is a leader into his own domain, and how he's making a transformation across the world, across his domain. And then finally, the servant leadership. This servant leadership you see in Gandhi ji, the how the hostel representative works around with the student issues. So these are the different type of leadership styles. So you need to understand which one and where do you stand, such that it helps you to, you can, cater to different demands. You understand, see, if the person is too much authoritative, he may not be able to, he may not be flexible, he might be little rigid on certain ideas. So that needs to be there. You need to see ki, where do you guys stand on the leadership style. So once you guys have finalized what is exactly, what leadership qualities do you hold, now you see that if you can change or if you can add in more. It's not that you'll always be either you're authoritative or you're always a servant side. It can always be, fusion of both. So you need to draw your boundaries specifically for the corporate world, how you can draw boundaries and maybe look into where you can fuse your personalities. So this leadership in action scenario talks about how you take a crisis scenario. So, analyzing a situation, how you can mobilize, what kind of. So assuming that you are working into a college fest, so what other things would you do? It's a simple college fest.
Can you repeat the question?
If you are supposed to work for a college fest, how would you do it? What are the first things that comes to you? How do you plan, organize?
Ma'am, can I speak?
Yeah.
First of all, like I would go to the college fest coordinator, whoever is like governing that
Assuming
fest.
you are the fest coordinator, student coordinator.
Okay, so I would look after the themes that are going to be there in fest, and also encourage students for coming up with new ideas so that they could get a broader perspective of sharing their views, and that could help them build confidence. And then I would ask some some of my seniors so that I could get some more clarity about how should I make this fest innovative. And then thirdly, I would go for some sponsorship so that I could invite more of the Gen Z kind of stuff for the fest so that they could get attracted and I could build some networking there.
Okay, fine. So, yeah, I think the flow is fine, but then you are also supposed to know what kind of fest is this? What are we exactly doing? But then, yeah, that's okay. So, from the leadership style that we have just looked into, where do you guys think, where do you fit in out of all the leadership styles? Sazia, where do you see yourself out of these five?
Ma'am, I see myself as authoritative, and the second one is lessier, lessier
This is Paresh.
G.
Yeah. What's up with Manal and Yash?
I see myself as a like this is
Sorry?
hello. Am I
No, I believe that there is a network issue. Manal, would you like to say something?
Ma'am, I would see myself as mm, authoritative and servant leader.
Can you find some examples from your real time life or anything? Any idea on that?
Mm, Ma'am, when in my school, I was a part of the student council in my school. So that is,
Okay.
and I was so I my one of my duties was to ensure that all the rules are being properly followed by everyone. That is why I feel like the authoritative part, and um, I like often I feel like many of my friends or many people come to me like with their problems, and I help them solve or come up with a solution as much as I can. So
So, Manal, as we were talking about the college fest, so it appears that the budget has been cut short by half. So, as someone who believes in authoritative leadership style, what would you do?
I I would not discourage them, because in during the college fest many students come up to us and like they would want to organize their own events, or like during our college fest we have multiple type of competitions and stalls, and also I would not discourage them that no, because our budget is cut short only a few people will be allowed to do what they want. Instead I would encourage them to uh, regulate their expenses in such a way that a lot of money doesn't get wasted in useless uh, expenses, like like during fests and all. Usually students are given food. For example, I'm just giving an example. Okay, the participants are like they get refreshments. Okay, so now many a times it happens that in a refreshments they give you a lot of variety, but majority of those things get wasted because not like they will give you tea also and cold drink also, for example. Now no one is going to drink a combination of tea and cold drink, right? Either they'll be drinking, no one will drink a hot beverage with a cold one. So they could ask for the students that who would prefer what and give only that, so that way the cost will be saved and it will not be wasted, like the extra food will not be wasted. During fest and all, food wastage is a very big issue. Like it will be made in a very big quantity, but a large of part of it will be wasted. So if our budget is short, I would try to help everyone organize it in such a way that we can bring out the best of the fest without compromising its quality.
Agreed. That's quite an answer. So, just quickly summarizing your own points, Mandal. So, I think you would first see where your money or the chunk of amount goes into. You would
Yes.
see out of 100, 30%, 60% amount goes into this. Maybe you'll analyze, and then first you analyze, you would prioritize things as per the requirement, which is the most important part.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you'll delegate.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
good. That's fine. So, what's up with you, Sazia? As a leader, what would you do if you find that there is a lot of crowd or the amount has been reduced?
Ma'am, as the world is a competition, so is the fest. In my point of view, I would like to say that whoever is the best should stay, like in any aspect. Whichever idea is the best, that will stay with the least minimum budget, and then I'll collect out of that least budget, I'll collect the best and then negotiate in my fest.
Okay, fine. Just adding to your guys' perspective, I wanted to say that if do you like, I understand that you both of you guys have not yet mentioned about the transformational, but then assuming if you were into the shoes of making a transformation, what would you do? The budget has been reduced. There are still other ways of dealing with it. What are other ways?
Other ways are like building up network. मैं किसी और के पास जाऊंगी स्पॉन्सरशिप के लिए, मैं उन्हें मनाऊंगी ताकि वो मेरे फेस्ट को स्पॉन्सर करें, एंड दैट विल टेक अ लॉट ऑफ आइडियाज. तो जो बेस्ट रहेगा मैं उस आइडिया पे लोग को प्रेफर करूंगी कि वो मेरे फेस्ट में स्पॉन्सर करें, एंड दैट विल मेक अ चेंज.
Yes, agreeing to this point that, and this is what a transformational leadership is all about. That always you can't. I understand the budget is not there, but then what you can do is you can find another ways, and those other ways is you can get new people on
Yes.
board. Nice, good one. So, you see that it's not black and white. It's not about that every time you're democratic, every time you're a servant leadership, you have every bits of it, but then what's dominant in your personality, that counts. So, I also believe that I am someone who's maybe more of a authoritative type of leadership. So, yeah. Now let's just moving ahead to what Manal summarized, that we analyze the situation, what are the available resources, how you can now look into how we can prioritize, and now you are delegating the task and then finally implementing your college fest or any ideas. So this is completely into that situation where how do you take care of the things, and then this is about, these are the things that I was taught by Ami. So, you understand your people, you know about their weakness, you know about their strength. So that really helps you to make a better team. अगर तुम किसी को बोलो कि भाई तू paint कर रहा है, the person is not good with painting, that, तुम किसी को, you're comparing mangoes and oranges or apples, I would say. So it's better that you compare or you give the task which they are best at. But then at the same time, you also need to challenge them. हमेशा अगर हम comfort zone का काम देंगे तो how will they learn? So yes, but then you knowing your people and how much they can push is really something that can help you to be a better leader. And someone you can always talk to, you do it first and then the rest follows, because otherwise तुम खुद नहीं करोगे and then you expect the other people. It's not fair on many aspects, many fronts. So followed by you take your responsibility. You must have seen in sports, this is a prominent example wherein if the team wins, it's all about the complete teamwork. If the team loses, it's all about the captain who didn't had a good plan. And I don't think the best example for me was this RCB that match that was won. Every time someone was blamed, but then when it was all about the credit, it wasn't Virat Kohli. So you take your example from very simple things in your life, then followed by it's we often say in military that the more you sweat in training, the less you bleed in war. So this means that you really work hard when you're supposed to, but then when it's time to show up, just chill, just relax. Even I used to have my interviews in those times when it was like 1 month away or 2 months away for my interview. I used to prepare like anything, but then once my interview is just 1 week, after a 1 week, I would definitely, in that 1 week, I would only watch movies, chill, relax, because I already know I've done enough. And if things are about to fall into my place, or if they are supposed to fall in, they would eventually, if my hard work is really important. So yeah, that's what I mean when I say train hard and fight easy. Then it's about how calm you are under pressure. Initially I felt that I was not really a calm person, but then eventually you feel like you are developing yourself. And I think since Sazia mentioned that initially she wanted to be in she wanted to clear NEET, etc. So I am sure she must have faced those situations, and how transformational it was that you went through the entire scene. So Sazia, what's up with your NEET? Did you clear that, or what was it?
No, ma'am. I took 2 drops, and by the time I was about to take third drop, so I thought this has to stop. Like, I need to do something else. I can't keep myself dodging with the same task, and I cannot expect that same energy to flow since I'm not getting any fruitful result. I was able to make to the semi-government college, but then it was like a heavy amount of investment for admission, so I
What's up
couldn't.
with like you were getting into MBBS or the other seats?
Other seats like as in BHMS and BDS, they were asking about 56 lakhs for the admission. So it
I would never recommend anyone to go for their BDS or even BHMS, BAMS, because
yeah,
my entire college is filled up with these people.
I do have friends जो अपने आप को sacrifice कर दिए just because they wanted to have a title as doctor, and they will get it, but they are pursuing not MBBS, but they are doing BHMS and all these kind of stuffs. So I don't think कि ये सारी degrees छोटी है, but the perk of having a MBBS degree is far better than having these degrees. So I took a decision that I won't go further, and I won't take drop anymore. And I then switched the field, and then I came to BTech Biotechnology, and then by
In fact,
this
that is a good thing, because I even like, yeah, if you consider after MBBS, I think BDS is one of the most sought after courses. But then I have seen every second person in my class is a BDS person, because they themselves say the seat and everything, the BDS, the dentistry seat or the chair itself is very expensive. So it also comes down to where are you coming from and what kind of background do you hold. So that really plays an important role, because this is not just about your degree that requires a heavy amount of investment. This also requires, once you have completed your degree, in fact, I was recently talking to a friend who's a doctor, who's a dentist. She was getting 18,000 for a month in Bombay.
Yeah, for internship. Yeah, they do get. I do
No,
have friends.
not internship. After the job, she after completing her degree, she was getting 18,000, and she's a topper of some university in, I guess, Punjab, Faridkot. So that was when I got to know, because initially I was also intending to be a part of NEET, etc. I wanted to, but then thereafter I realized I'm not a person who can mug up a lot of things. Not even, it's not even about mugging up, but then I also believe that I may not be the person who will be able to complete this part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
eventually after second drop, I did had the same feeling as you're saying, but then I am discovering what I want still.
I would say it would go on, even when I was going for a degree as a bachelor's in microbiology, until third year, I didn't really know what am I supposed to do.
Correct.
And I thought once you get the degree done, your things are done and dusted, you would get a job, etc. But then that does not really happen. So uh, while uh, while I was doing the bachelor's, then I realized that I need to go for UPSC or something, some that sort of thing that will actually help me to maybe land a job or something nice that I would like to.
Agreeing with the fact.
This is the about the leadership, but then I don't really think it's I would talk about the leadership. I would like to talk more to you guys. Tell me about yourself. What do you do? What do you come from? And where do you see yourself? Because I understand that you have been listening to this leadership talks, etc. It's a one way. It also appears to be a one way conversation that you guys are not really enjoying. That's what it appears to me. So yeah, I would be happy to answer all your questions, uh, even if it's regarding the DRDO part. And regarding the, I think, biotechnology, are you guys working into any internship, etc.? Anything?
Still now we aren't doing any kind of internship. Like we were mentioned that we have to do internship, but still no initiative from the college itself. So,
Yeah, but then it's okay from the college perspective.
Ma'am, we have just finished our first year of
exactly.
BTech in Biotech and we have not studied our core subjects yet. So, doing an internship in biotechnology is not very practical because we don't know much about our subject, like enough detail to do internship in biotechnology.
Yes, ma'am. Agreeing with Manal, we are just newbies in this field, and then we are still figuring out what we are supposed to do in the upcoming years.
Okay. Fine, because I'm working with someone in my current company who's doing her BTech biotech in her first year, and the college is in Bangalore, and the person is working really well, and that's why I had the impression that most of the people are supposed to do the internships. I think that was for the Bangalore people. Fair enough. So yeah, what's up apart from this? What are you guys figuring out? Yes, you can also talk. I understand that you're still a student who's pursuing masters. Maybe we can still talk. What's up, people? What was your exact idea or intention to take or go for this summer school thing?
Ma'am, can I answer this?
Yeah.
For me, it was like basically I would waste all of these holidays procrastinating and then end up overthinking. So, better let's do something that will help me be a better person. And that I feel is happening to me, like with this platform. And I did figured out things that I really need to improve in myself, and then I also started learning about how to professionally build a LinkedIn profile that will help me after 3 years of my course, and then still figuring out what perks I could add to myself and to my career. So yeah, this is what
So
I.
I think the first lecture was with Shiva Kiran sir, no? So what exactly happened and what did you learn?
I didn't attended that. I was attending this session from like second day. It was about
Oh,
self control, analyzing the thoughts, and then how could you communicate effectively. What are your patterns? And then yesterday's session was about having trust and leadership qualities, confidence. How could you manage situation at times, and all these things.
okay, fine. So what did you learn about the LinkedIn part?
LinkedIn part is on my own. Like nobody said that I should do this, but I was scrolling Instagram, so I thought, why wasting time? Let's start doing something that is much more beneficial for yourself. Yeah, that's a personal, you can say, personal initiative to improve myself.
That's great.
And also it was from my senior Yash, because he said that he had a great profile, and then I visited him on LinkedIn, and I really saw his profile was good. So then I thought I should really give it a try.
Fine. That's so yeah. What's up with Manal and Yash?
Uh, Manal, hello.
Yes, ma'am.
You have any question or you have any query or anything to share? You can share with Miss Neha, and then you can ask questions. I can see that you people are not participating that vigorously, and yes, other students have not joined. Those who are not joining continuously, we are not going to give them certificates. This is I'm saying openly again and again, and please do convey this very seriously to everybody. Okay?
Mm,
Hello.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I heard.
Manal, I'm asking you that you can please share your experiences or ask questions, or if you have anything that you want to know, please do ask to Miss Neha.
Okay. Um, ma'am. Uh,
What did
I
she What did she spoke about till now?
today, ma'am taught us about leadership skills. That, like, what are the skills in a good leader, and like what are the things that we look in a teammate.
So what have you learned?
Uh, that she explained. She gave us an example, and asked us like how would we react in the situation, like if we were a leader, and then like we had to organize a fest, and in that if our budget is
Okay. Okay.
more.
Any of you kindly tell me will you differentiate between a bossy nature and a leadership nature?
A bossy nature means they try to become a dictator, like they believe that like if I am a leader means everyone has to follow my orders, that whatever I say you do it, irrespective of how my subordinates are, what are they comfortable with, what are their potentials. I just try to order them around like a boss, and which is wrong. Not only because that will not gain you respect. Your subordinates are not going to respect you for that. They might agree to you or accept what you are saying in front of you out of respect, but behind your back they will only speak bad about you, and it will also have a negative impact on the organization as a whole, because a organization like that will never be successful. A good leader
Okay.
is
This
the
is.
one who actually like
Mhm.
realizes the true potential of his subordinates, and like gives suggestions, not orders. That will
Okay,
be
this is what we know as in general. Neha, I just wanted to know that you had been in army also, right? Yes. So in army, both type of natures you must have met at one point of time or the other, right? So when did it happen that a bossy nature was actually very much required to in a particular situation, and was it right or wrong to had a bossy nature that time? And most of the time, do we have a leadership nature or a bossy nature? As much I know, most of the time leadership nature is there in the army personals, means seniors there who are there. But in some situations, a bossy nature is required because there, if you see the condition of the people, the situations around, and other things, if you start becoming calculative, you will not be able to perform the task, or you will not be able to reach to the conclusion. So you must have met both type of people at one point of the time in some situations. So please throw some light on it, and means give an insight to these students about if they face a situation like that in a real life, how to tackle it, please.
So yeah, basically, but then if I give from an answer from an army perspective or military perspective, it's always that's what we are taught to be, that you have to follow a certain orders or follow a certain hierarchy, because at the end of the day, army is completely dependent on it's a contradiction also and complementary as well, that the teamwork is not just about for the time, you would also require you to know about your team, you need to know about their strength, what are they good at times you also have to cajole them, but at the same time you also need to be little bossy, little harsh on them, because otherwise army won't be able to function. So the normally what we say is being into a servant leadership, that's what we mentioned, the servant leadership or any democratic type of leadership, that does not work in army. So we have an army 15 OLQs, officer like qualities, and those maximum, and the major emphasis on the social adaptability in terms of, as in how confident you are, how much you take initiative, and how are you working through with the team. So team is the major part, but at the same time, when you're dealing with your seniors, or if the order has to be passed on, if the order has to be executed well within the time, when it's specifically about the life and death sort of situation, you need to be on your toes. You need to be a little bossy on those aspects. So you also need to understand what kind of situation requires. So if there is a time pressing need, if there is a life and death sort of situation, then following a certain order, that I'll give you an example for China. Why China is more developed in this particular aspect is because they have an authoritative sort of government which says they have to do a certain task, and it gets implemented well within the time, or even like lesser time, because there are no questions whatsoever. But then this is also a wrong thing, that they have been pressed into and they cannot express themselves. So you need to figure out which one is required where. And how would you figure out? Any ideas on this, anyone? What do you think about how would you figure out?
Students, please do answer. Don't remain silent. Make it interactive, please. Neha, till the time they are preparing for the answer, I would like to you to throw some light on SWOT analysis, SWOT. SWOT analysis means during interviews. Because this is something that people do not have any realization about, and then they enter into the interview panel, and then they come out and say that the interview was a biased one, and this and that. So this is something that we should know about ourselves when we are facing the panel. So please throw some light on SWOT analysis, because all these students and even us, we need to analyze ourselves at every point of time while facing a particular situation or a particular crisis or a chaos or anything we can say. So please throw some light on it. Till they are preparing, we will give them some 1 minute to prepare for the answer that you asked. And till then you can have a brief about SWOT analysis, and then you can give a lecture on it. Means 5 minutes will be okay. Is it
Fine.
okay?
So, yeah. So, while we are talking about the SWOT analysis from the perspective of the interview, so basically we refer to strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So, when we talk about the SWOT, or you are talking about your strengths, your weakness, you need to sit down, talk, think about what are you best at. But then I would slightly disagree on this point that if you go for an interview, go for SWOT analysis. There is something in army or military, there is something called The Art of War by Sun Tzu. And he's one of the best military who has spoken about the military warfare. So, what I would like to pick from there, from the perspective of leadership or the interview part, is that behave strongest where you're weakest, and behave weakest where you're strongest. So you can utilize this is a in your interview also. So your strength is definitely your strength, but then your weakness should also appear like it's your strength. So this is about the strength and the weakness part. I'll give you an example for my interviewer, how I used to take things. So if I say that I have a good communication skills, that's that's something that you can scale, that has a measurable outcome. That's my strength, right? But then if I'm talking about my weakness or weak areas, I would still find out some ways. Maybe I read a lot, and at times that consumes my time. So that's something that's something that's one of my weakness. But then at the same time, I'm portraying it as my strength, because this appears more like I'm reading a lot. But then yes, anything that goes beyond a medium or beyond a certain threshold is too much. So yeah, I am going to control that through the Pomodoro technique. I'm just giving an example. So thereafter, now you have to talk about the opportunity. So I'm just telling you from my perspective, you can definitely do this from your own ideas. You can sit and think it through how you can find out your own opportunity. So my opportunities are that these are the companies that are lined up. These are the now I'll divide my entire life into 4 parts. The first part includes my personal life, second part includes my professional life, third part includes my social life, and the fourth part is my intellectual life. So it's not just when I look forward to opportunities or threats, I'm just following my professional setup. You also need to think of your long term goal, your short term goal. What do you want to do in your personal life? So when you're doing a SWOT analysis about your strength, your weakness, your opportunities, and the threats that follow, you also have to think from the broader perspective. So I would rather say don't prepare too much for the answers right now that we are talking. I would expect, let's talk about your strength, your weaknesses. So, Sazia, Manal, let's talk about it. Ma'am,
Students, you all must be having some strengths and weakness. This is one question that even I had been facing in every interview. Till now, I have given so many interviews. First, I used to give as a student, then I used to give as professionals, then as administrator, and now I give as at founder and CEO of First Steps Career Ega. So everywhere, people definitely want to know what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses and how do you deal with these two. Because when you are in different roles, you need to have a balanced personality to solve a particular problem, you can say, or to look at a particular situation from your perspective or from the wider perspective. So you all must be having some strengths and weaknesses. Kindly to discuss it with Neha ma'am.
yeah, guys, let's talk. See, if I give you
Yes,
from my
are you there?
perspective, it won't.
Yash? Okay, they will talk to you one by one, Neha.
Yeah. What's up, Sazia? Let's talk. Because there won't be, it won't be beneficial if I tell you my strength, my weakness. It's better that you guys tell me yours, so maybe we can frame it better, we can understand things better. And your answer does not have to be interview ready. For now, we are just having a casual talk, so consider it that way.
Yes, ma'am, agreeing with your point, as we are still finding out our ways to be professional as you are. Like, we cannot match your standard from now itself. Just as a mark of respect, I'm saying that we cannot still mark your standards and the way you deliver yourself. So my strength is that I get very nerdy when it comes to my name or my potential. If someone challenges me with something, I'll show them like you hit something that is like I have a very picky nerve that if someone triggers me, I'll show them what I am. So, but that is dangerous as well. That shows a very dominating personality, and that also ruins everything. Like every image of mine with my friends also. Like I have conflicts, and then they start saying that you're very dominating, and no one is going to work with you. Say so that also is my weakness. That I cannot I cannot just keep myself calm when someone is getting on my nerves. So I still
So
need to figure this.
I agree with that, Sazia. So, but don't you think it is rather easier to trick you to do a certain task than if I have to tell you to
Yeah, it
do a
is very.
certain task?
It's easy that someone will trigger me with this, and then I'll go with the flow. I'll
So
show them.
this also means that you are working towards you are responding to your external forces rather than your internal
Internal.
forces.
Yeah, agree. And this leads to many conflicts, and also this leads after the result, whatever happens, that leads to overthinking, and then I feel that I should not have reacted at that point of time, and at that given space मुझे उस वक्त वैसे react नहीं करना चाहिए था. I could have been more calm and more composed, and then वहाँ ज़्यादा मेरा अच्छा वाला nature रहना चाहिए था. That too, not in sense of pleasing, but yeah, still.
Shall I say
Please.
something?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, please, ma'am.
Sazia, you discussed your this. You consider this as your weakness?
Yeah, surely, ma'am. I consider this as
Yes. So definitely it is a weakness when we consider our day-to-day life. But you start working on it means means right now in general life, in general day-to-day life, it is a weakness. But you can use this and a leadership quality when you grow up and go into means when you join any organization. These type of qualities are required for a strict leadership with a very keen vision. Okay, so this is not a weakness. Means as ma'am said, Neha ma'am said that even you can use your weaknesses as your strength. You can show it as a strength. So when you're facing interview, this is my add-on. Her perspective you will hear from her. So this weakness you can say that this is a weakness when we don't know how to handle it in the day-to-day life situations, but it becomes a strength when you get into an organization and have a team to work with as a leader. Okay, so there you can show it as a strength and start working on it. It is my opinion, means you can see how to do it. In day-to-day practice, you can start working on it and make it your strength and learn when to remain silent and don't behave dominant or as you discussed in your day-to-day life. Because this is something which we discussed yesterday also. We should know where to say, how to say, what to say, and how much to say.
agreeing with the family.
This is not required every time that if any situation is going worse we should immediately react. This is a very general nature which even I have, which even Neha ma'am have, which even if leaders have. They immediately react, but we very well know that our reaction is going to create more problems. If we tell our mind that immediate reaction can get you into a problem, your mind will start teaching you how to create your weakness into your strength. So this is something which comes with practice. This was my opinion. Neha ma'am will tell you the rest of the things. Over to you, Neha.
So adding to what Prathama ma'am has mentioned, so Sazia, I think the good thing is that you do realize that the outburst that you have created, or the kind of emotions that you were actually able to identify or recognize first. That's the first way. And I think I was also in a similar boat when I was in my first year in my bachelor's. So I think or the word that you have been mentioning or referring quite number of times is overthinking. So I would say overthinking to a certain task is a problematic, and we all know this, and I'm sure that you know, and that's why you have been mentioning. But then how we can work around with this is, the moment you realize that you are maybe overthinking, you're getting into that overthinking loop, you need to first recognize that this is the point that I'm getting into now, overthinking loop, and you start writing it. This has really helped me to when I was going through my medicals, etc., while I was coming back. So at that point of time, I was overthinking rather, that why me? I have done
Exactly.
everything right, etc. I studied, because you are also prepared for NEET. So I
Mm.
also felt the same way, because I have given my hard work, and at the end of the day, we all have learned from this childhood days that if you put in efforts, if you have done hard work, you would definitely get your results. But then at the end of the day, there are certain days you won't get your results, even despite all the hard work.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think that's where the overthinking comes into the picture. And get it from me, or this again is a very personal thing, that I've seen this. I've seen those darkest time, that even when you have done everything right, still not falling into the place that you wanted to. But then that needs to stop.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think to a certain time now, we often blame ourselves for maybe doing that, and that's why everything happened. So once you start writing your thoughts, no, it makes a lot more clear. And every time you write a certain piece, every time you write a certain article for your own self, you don't have to do it for anyone. But then once you start writing, expressing your thoughts, it gets a lot more clear. And I would say it really helps. It has helped me. It won't help you like right away, but then you would see, you would recognize that this is the time that you have to stop saying anything, just take a step back. Detaching yourself is something that we need to learn.
Yes, ma'am.
You're
As
going
I
for a
said
certain task.
earlier, this is the only thing that I have been working on all this summer, and this has really made me more calm, and I have a very clear perception of my own self, that whatever I need to achieve is in myself and in my own hands. Like it's in my actions itself. And then but still, the irony here is that we as student, we need to prove ourselves to the others that we are sitting in the benches in the class, that अगर उसको ज़्यादा marks आए मुझे क्यों नहीं आए, so I need to prove him or her कि मुझे भी ज़्यादा आ सकता है. So in that race, somewhere I fall. Like I still need
You
to
lose yourself.
yes, I still need to figure out कि ये जो race है ये सिर्फ मेरा है, and
But
I
are
have
we are we comparing on the right lines, Sazia? Assuming that you studied for one day and the other person has been studying for 24/7 for last 3 months, that's not a comparison on the equal grounds. We always talk about
yeah,
equality. And
this is just my perception and my point of view कि
I'm just
मुझे ऐसा
adding to
मुझे
your perception. I
yes.
don't intend to change it. It's just that I would like to add one more dimension, that are we comparing on the right lines? We
No,
often compare things on the results,
no,
right?
exactly not. Like, yeah, a better person that who is getting a better mask is always doing a harder work than me. So yes, this is not a clear
And
ground to judge on. So, yeah, correct.
And one more thing, Sazia, that you are looking at the situation as a student, right? From
Yes,
a teacher's perspective, what happens is the teacher is looking at the situation or at the marks of, suppose 25 students are there, 25 students, right? So
ma'am.
she has to look into the marks of 25 students, and that's why she asks you why you are getting less marks or why you are not able to perform better. What is happening with you is you are judging only yourself, or you are only analyzing your efforts, right? The teacher
Yes.
has to analyze the efforts of 25 students. So here my add-on is that you do the best and you do it in the right way, honestly. As ma'am said, you cannot compare yourself with a student who have studied 24 into 7, 20 days, and you studied only 2 days, and you will not compare. You will not be able to compare. So do the right thing. And then after that, you see what I believe is, if you are really doing hard work and sincerely, you will definitely get something better than what you attained before, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So first you do that, and then after that also, if situation is not under your control, then tell yourself that you have done your best. You need not to react. You did the best you can, and now the situation is not in your control. But first you do the best now.
Yes,
That is
ma'am.
the thing, right?
Yes, agreeing with your point.
Yes, I would rather say that yes, satisfaction plays a very important role. That if you feel that you're fine, you are doing well, and it is okay to have certain odds. There are controllables, there are non-controllables. We often feel that things are not falling into your place, but then you can't even do anything about them. But we keep on dwelling on those that things are not falling into place, then maybe we are manifesting the same thing again and again.
Yes.
So that is important, and self discipline is important, becoming a good leader, especially for young professionals. Self discipline, yes, pretty much self discipline is, it's obvious, it's not just about the public health careers or any young professionals, it's important for everyone, anyone who wishes to see themselves in the right fit of life. So I would rather open it for the wider dimension, not just for the public health careers, because at the end of the day, if you go and sleep with a content satisfaction, that's where your self discipline all comes into picture. So how do you guys tell me, do you have any self discipline ideas? How do you work around with things? I understand that if you have only 24 hours, you will definitely make things through, but then do you guys follow any certain routine, anything for the self discipline part?
Yes, ma'am. Like I do have a self-discipline routine, but majority of the time ऐसा होता है कि I follow 90%, but हाँ वो 10% remain हो जाता है. As a human, I can't be 100% efficient with that routine. ऐसा stick नहीं कर
But then
सकती.
that's great, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That will always help you, even if you complete out of 60% or 70%. That's pushing your boundaries.
Yes.
Then maybe you can try one more part, 1 more%. That's great. So, how do you guys see yourself as somebody who's pretty organized, that I'll do at 9 p.m. this and 9 a.m. this, or someone who just completes the work well within the time? So, where do you guys find yourself?
I clearly jot down my thoughts in a page, like what are the things that I need to do itself today, और आने वाले टाइम में like within this week मुझे क्या क्या करना है, और मैं संडे को प्लान कर लेती हूँ, मंडे मुझे ये काम करना है, ट्यूसडे थर्सडे, एंड देन विद दैट थिंग मंडे का जो इम्पोर्टेंट टास्क होता है उसे पहले करना है, एंड देन अगर उसमें से कुछ रिमेनिंग हो गया तो ट्यूसडे को पहला टास्क वो रहेगा, and then following up the schedule. But also it's like majority of the time I need to focus कि मेरा आधा से ज़्यादा काम हो जाना चाहिए, like majority काम हो जाना चाहिए. That is also kind of very anxious when I am like initially doing works कि अगर मुझसे नहीं हुआ तो, like because of that past trauma about lacking and not achieving the dream that I had as a youngster. But still, so
But then,
that is,
Sazia, just adding to your idea, because this is what I've seen in a lot of people. They feel that they have not cleared certain exams, certain something, and they are not able to forgive themselves. But then you have to let it go. Then, क्योंकि आप किसी और को हमेशा माफ कर देते हो. It's easy to do that. But then
yes,
if you can't do it to your own self, that it's okay, that not everyone is, it's okay to not clear exam. It's okay to not start a career at the age of 21. It's okay to have a lot of things. But then you need to let it go. Otherwise you won't be able to.
but ma'am, it's not
In
about
Hindi it
pushing
says
it.
कि कहीं से कहीं पहुंचने के लिए कहीं निकलना जरूरी होता है. तो until if you don't let your fear, guilt, or whatever it is to go, how would you reach a certain idea even in your biotech career?
Yes, ma'am, I agree with your point, but then again, it is all the emotions are influenced by the surrounding, I feel. Like my surroundings में मेरे ही cousins हैं and they are pursuing their MBBS degree just because they are financially very strong. And then here I lack because हर चीज का एक प्राइस है आज की दुनिया में. Like whatever you have to achieve, either it is by your hard work or by the money that you have.
Agreed. But then money, see, efforts and consistency and hard work is something you can't buy it through
Buy
money.
it.
So irrespective, even if you are getting a degree and everything, but then if you are not able to follow a certain routine, if you're not able to put your efforts into it, how would you be able to survive? So I understand that you are into first year and you have just give away your primary thought that was neat. So I understand where is this coming from, but then Sazia, it makes, if you look from the third person perspective, not just from your college, school, but the professional setup, that it's rather easier to pull those sort of people into self doubt.
Yeah, I do have this fear of self doubt, and it's majority of the
And
time
this is something which can people also utilize in their favor.
against yeah, it happens like किसी को भी अगर मेरा ये वाला weak point पता चल जाता है, like eventually I had a major friendship breakup kind of thing. So yeah, he did knew my points that he would trigger or something like that has happened. So yeah, eventually what you said was right, and it did happen to me. And then I learned that I need to stop, and this has to stop. So this is the main summer goal that I'm having till date. So I'm working on that.
I'm really impressed with the kind of wisdom that you already have. I don't really think I was wise enough in my first year itself that I knew a lot of things. I'm like, yeah, quite commendable.
So ma'am, how long you can just like keep wondering and keep going on the same loop? Like it is not affecting any other person. It is only affecting me, and that is affecting my productivity. That is affecting my efficiency. I have more potential in myself, and I know that just because of the other surrounding external factors, all these things are affecting on the main initiative of my life. Like that's not good that it happens on the same note. So this has to stop anyhow. So yes.
Nice. For the next 3 years, you already have a plan.
Yeah.
Great. Fine. Start finding out what do you like, what kind of person you would want to become, what exactly are you heading into. It's the time that you do those trial and error sort of things. And that's why I was asking about the internship. You do a certain task, you understand that this does not work for you, and you do the second thing.
Yeah, I have applied for some online internship, but I am not getting the response. So I would like.
I completely agree with you. That's okay, that's fine. But then that's you're trying, that's what at times you also have to see, Asadia, you also have to jot down your achievements, all the things. It's called candy jar moments. So whenever so there is this book called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. So in that book he has mentioned a lot of transformational things from his own life, and there he mentioned this one thing that stayed with me about the candy jar moments. We, like I said, that we are not able to often forget ourselves or forgive ourselves. We need to prepare a achievement jar. I'm sure since you were preparing for NEET, you are into biotech now, so you must have had some achievements in your life that you are really proud. It's not about being first in class, even if you are fifth in class, by just doing certain tasks that really help you to elevate yourself, that's also achievement to you. But then if you make a note of it now, and whenever you feel low, whenever you feel like, yeah, the person is trying to push me down, or you find yourself into blues, you always go back to those achievements, look into it, how much hard work you have put in to get even those things. So that really fuels up that positivity inside you. So I think having that candy jar has really helped me. So I would just say, go try out if that helps you also.
Sure, I'll try that.
Sazia, no, just one thing. What type of internship you are looking for, Vita?
Ma'am, skill development.
Skill development. Why
Yes.
don't you join our internship program, which is going to start from 25th till 10th August?
Okay, sure. I will see
Do
that.
you have any idea about that?
No, ma'am. I still don't have any.
I will ask Yash to share with you. Neha, I would be happy to share with you that in under Costas Careerica, we have started one new thing, summer internship. And till now, 5 to 6 students have joined us for different tracks. And then I was not aware that these girls don't know. I will ask Yash to post it in every this group. And you people can choose the track and then you can join our internship programs also. We would try our best to get you interacted with different type of experts like Neha and others, so that they could be with us in long collaboration, because we all are looking for long collaborations ahead, isn't it, Neha?
Yes, definitely.
Yes. So, to all the students over here, Costas Careerica is actually a full. We bring together lot of expertise in different aspects of life skills, soft skills, as well as science, arts, humanities, and everything, because we are here to cater all the needs of the students to make them better person from what they are today, in every aspect, in the degree, in their skill development, in their personality development, and all possible aspects. So please be with us, and I would ask Yash to contact. Okay.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Sure. So if anybody else have questions, fine, we will go with the questions. Otherwise, Yash, you are there?
Ma'am, I have. Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Yash, if
Ma'am,
you
I
have
have
any
one
questions, you can
question.
ask to Neha, ma'am.
Yeah.
हाँ पूछ लो, और एक काम यश, उसके बाद आप वो जो थैंक्स कास्ट करना, और जितने बच्चे इंटर्नशिप के लिए लाइक साजिया इज लुकिंग फॉर इंटर्नशिप, शेयर ऑल द डिटेल्स विथ हर and others
Okay,
also. Okay. Chalo, I'm doing some work. Neha, thank you so much from my side. Yash will conclude, and I will talk to you over a phone. Okay.
Sure. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Bye bye. Thank you so much. Bye.
So, sorry, Neha ma'am. Actually, I got some guest in my home, so I wasn't able to interact with you. So, I have one question. Like, can you suggest some strategies? Am I audible?
Yeah, audible.
Okay. So, can you suggest some strategies that we use to keep ourselves and our team motivated? Like, you have told earlier that if we
I think there is a network lag. I am unable to hear you, Yash, properly.
can I post my question in the chat box?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, wait for a while.
Manal, I guess you raised your hands.
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to ask something, but then Yash Bhaiya was speaking, so I thought I should let him speak first.
I think you can continue until Yash is typing.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask, I am a bit of a pushover type of person. I don't know how to say no. Anyone can make me do anything. Anyone will say me to do anything and I will do it, irrespective of whether I actually want to do it or not. So, what will be your suggestion or advice to me? Like, how should I overcome this? Because it is more of a disadvantage to me, and people use it against me, because I cannot say no to anyone. I can't deny anyone. I think too much. I'm an overthinker also, which doesn't help me in this, because then I will think a lot of things like, what if they feel bad? What if they get offended? I think a lot about the other person, and that is why I can't concentrate on myself.
So it's basically you are saying that maybe you are being too empathetic towards the other person.
Yes, ma'am.
But then, like I said, Kay, it's being too empathetic. So, whenever we try to, if I'm not able to say no to anyone, which also means it's a good thing that you are an empath, but then it also speaks about that maybe you are also seeking validation. What are the stakes involved? So basically, when we are now, if I have to say no to someone, then maybe I'll see what are the stakes involved. Is it something that I can ruin it, Is it something that I can actually see? If that requires no energy of yours, if I'm supposed to help someone at no cost, there is no sacrifice of your own self, then go on, do it, because otherwise this world will still just be transactional. You need to be little unconditional. At the same time, you don't have to sacrifice your own self, so you need to find the stakes involved. So if I have to say no to a certain situation, if someone has asked me from Bombay, go to Pune and get some documents or anything, just an example for that matter. So I might just see ki, do I have office commitments, do I have other things? So if I don't really have anything, then I might just do it. But then otherwise, if I'm pushed just because somebody else wants me to, then I might just look into that. If I What kind of stakes are involved? If I say no, what would happen? Is my relationship at stake, or what is currently happening? So am I also seeking validation through it, or validation seek karna is good or not? So it also emerges that I might be a people pleasing behavior. So that people pleasing behavior also comes from the point that I want to get myself fixed into a certain situation. But then आप खुद से खुश नहीं हो तो फिर आप दूसरों को कैसे करोगे? तो even if you continue to do this, if you tell yourself कि अगर तुम बार बार बिना नो बोले काम करते जा रहे हो, तो you are pouring from a cup that is full, but then at certain point that cup would be empty. And if that cup is empty, you would feel suffocated, you will feel frustrated to a point jahan pe it would be difficult for you to say no, and at the same time it would be really difficult to stay afloat in that. So I think always thinking and seeing, why is this coming from, why cannot I say no, and what are the stakes involved? These are the two things that always, तुम जब भी किसी भी चीज को अपने लिए why पूछना start करते हो ना, कि where is this coming from, where is this, because a lot of insecurities or a lot of overthinking comes from our own parents, our own families. Because since I am a third child, right? So बचपन से मैंने ये चीज देखी है कि मैंने अगर बहुत बढ़िया काम किए, if I'm being a topper, then only I'm, my parents were into, and it's not that I'm blaming my parents, they are amazing parents, but then it's also that there are limitations, they are also human. So yeah, you always need to think back, why is this coming from, why do I need to please people, why do I need to do this? So when you start asking why, no, so that asking why is itself give you reason कि आपको no कैसे बोलना है, क्या बोलना है. But then that knowing why is something that you need to start off with. So am I able to answer your question, Manal?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
This is about, she has mentioned strategies that we can keep ourselves and our team members motivated. College Fest. So any strategies to keep myself and team members motivated? So I think one thing that helps you always to stay motivated is when you chalk your achievements of, even if your day of your single thing. So it might just be very naive for you, assuming you are into sports and you are a captain. There was this one person who was not really good with running 5 kilometers, but then this person has ran 4 kilometers irrespective, but then there is a relative increase, right? So if you keep an accountability, if you check the progress, check the outcome, you can go ahead and see how you can keep motivated. You need to celebrate those small efforts, you need to recognize that small efforts. It might just be that public speaking thing, or that 1 minute extempore that the person has given. तुम्हारे लिए it might just be very easy because you are good to go with your public speaking, but then the other person, for them it might just be simply a nightmare. So I think following and understanding that what's important to them and recognizing their small efforts is something that actually keeps you motivated, you yourself. Then you see that that is a progress. And this is what I used to do, that when you spoke also talked about the self-discipline part, no? So when you make a timetable, when you prepare yourself with certain 10 tasks a day, so even if you write those 10 tasks on a paper and on the wall, right? So you take those tasks that this is done, this is done, this is done. So that again gives you it keeps you motivated, and this is something that needs to be done on everyday basis. And same goes for your team members also. You go on to motivate them, you tell them that this is the requirement. So I think that answers your question.
Yes, everybody. So anyone have any questions? Or should we wind up this session?
And so thank you so much, everyone, for being so interactive. This is it's great to talk to people, because this is what I do almost every day, to interact with the young people like you. So you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn or anywhere if you need my help in any aspect, healthcare management, or even the army, military, at any point of time. If you believe that you would like to go and join army or air force, I'm definitely there. So yeah.
Of the summer school, I feel honored in my gratitude to our teams. Miss came to know about when I delivering such a powerful and insightful session on leadership. I mean, like excellent speeches, like DOV Indian National Health Mission, your ongoing pursuit at this Tata Institute of Social Science. Your concepts, you often read that. So your insights, practical tips, and empowering words, you have shown us that confidence is just a skill. And leadership is about titles, but about responsibility. So thank you for not just speaking to us, but speaking with us and for making us more empowered, more self-aware, and more inspired to lead in our own ways. We hope to carry forward the takeaways from today's session into our personal and professional lives. Once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for gracing us with the presence and wisdom, and thank you for accepting our invitation. Yeah. So before we go, I would like to say that your feedback matters to us. I will share the feedback form in the feedback form in the group, and Sazia, I will share the with our channel. So, yeah, thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much, everyone. Good day.
Good.